started like any other Tuesday. Sky was dull. Radio static kept cutting through the usual morning news. I assumed it was just storm interference. Half the state's been under maintenance since the floods, so glitchy signals weren't new. I had just parked outside the grocery store, same one I always go to. Small place, no more than 10 aisles. I waved at Becca behind the counter, who always wore the same tired smile and chewed gum like it owed her rent. The weird thing was the silence. No music playing over the intercom, no beeping scanners, just this low hum, like the store was holding its breath. I brushed it off, went to grab cereal. That's when I noticed the first soldier. Not inside, outside. Through the front window, standing at the far end of the parking lot, motionless. Just standing there in the rain, visor down, rifle gripped across his chest. No markings, no insignia, just black armor and silence. I watched him for a minute. He didn't move. I went back to shopping. Then a second one appeared. Opposite side. Same stance. Same uniform. Something about them felt off. Soldiers don't just patrol grocery stores. Not like that. Not without a reason. I went to Becca. Hey, do you know why? But before I could finish, all the lights went out. The hum vanished. A loud pop echoed from somewhere behind the store, followed by another. Not gunfire, more like electricity blowing out. Emergency lighting kicked in. Everything bathed in red. Still no music. Still no sound. Just red. Then the speakers crackled. Emergency mill. Rog. Everyone froze. I looked up at the ceiling speakers. Static hissed like it was alive. Becca pressed something under the counter, eyes wide like dinner plates. Emergency alert. This is a civilian broadcast. The military is no longer acting under authorized command. Avoid all soldiers. Do not approach. Do not trust uniformed personnel. Repeat. The military is rogue. That was the moment someone outside opened fire. A glass panel shattered. A woman screamed. Blood hit the window from the outside, like someone slammed a water balloon full of red paint against it. Panic hit like a wave. People ran. Becca pulled a pistol from under the register. Never seen her even raise her voice, and now she was yelling for us to get out the back. Someone got trampled. I heard bones break beneath boots. One of the soldiers stepped through the entrance, rifle aimed low. Silent. Steady. He shot a man in the spine as he ran for the door. No hesitation. I ducked behind the soda display and crawled. My hands were shaking, and all I could think was, why didn't they warn us sooner? I didn't look back. The man who got shot, his scream stopped halfway through like his lungs gave out before his voice did. I crawled, palms slipping on soda and something warm. It wasn't until I reached the storage room that I realized it was blood. The back door was open. Only a few of us made it through, maybe 5. One of them was a woman holding a crying toddler. Another was some kid with earbuds still in, as if music could drown this out. I pushed through the alley, the air reeking of trash and something chemical, sharp enough to burn the back of my throat. There was another body outside. Not one of ours. A soldier, mask cracked, face torn open from a close-range blast. Someone must have fought back. I didn't feel relief, just a deeper chill. Because under that shattered helmet, he didn't look like some monster or some brainwashed psycho. He looked like someone's brother. Someone who'd smiled once. Someone human. That's what made this worse. They weren't infected. They weren't possessed. These were trained, cold-blooded men and women who turned on us like we were insurgents. The crying kid screamed, and that's when I heard the boots again, heavy and fast. We scattered. No plan, just instinct. I ducked behind a dumpster. Another guy dove into an old shed and tried to close the door quietly. Didn't matter. 3 bursts of gunfire, quick and surgical. The metal shed rang like a church bell, then went still. Blood pooled out under the door like it was leaking oil. Covered my mouth. I felt sick. My heartbeat was hammering so loud I thought they could hear it. Then silence. Not even the crying. They were gone. Or they were waiting. I stayed crouched for 10 minutes. Maybe more. Then I heard something I didn't expect. A second voice on the radio. on a soldier's discarded earpiece near the body I'd passed. Static, then a whisper. We're not all with them. If you're hearing this, find the red smoke. We're still fighting. You're not alone. Cut off. I stared at the earpiece like it was a trap, like it might explode. Because if some soldiers are still human, what the hell happened to the others? I took the earpiece. I didn't want to, but something about that voice, calm, human, scared, cut through all the noise in my head. If there really were survivors, people inside the system fighting back, I had to try. Red smoke. That's what they said. I climbed out from behind the dumpster and made my way through side streets. Every alley reeked like rot and scorched metal. The power grid must have failed hours ago. Everything flickered in and out, like the city itself was trying to breathe but couldn't. I saw more soldiers on the way, some patrolling, some dragging bodies. One just stood there, facing a wall, not moving, not blinking, like he forgot what he was supposed to do and just froze. I didn't make a sound. I just backed away, holding my breath, one step at a time. Then I saw it. Just a faint wisp at first, bleeding up from behind a church at the edge of town. Red smoke. I ran. The closer I got, the stranger things felt. The air grew warmer, not hot, more like feverish, like something was wrong with the atmosphere itself. And the silence, it was too deep. Even the bugs were gone. I found the smoke trail leading down into a subway entrance. Someone had drawn a symbol over the door in what looked like black ash. A circle with a line through it, and what might have been a star at the center. It didn't look military. I hesitated. Then the earpiece crackled again. If you made it this far, don't stop. Go below. They know we're awake now. Awake? What the hell did that mean? I descended the stairs. Every light was broken or flickering. Graffiti smeared the walls. Stuff that looked new, like it had been drawn in the last few days. Warnings. Numbers. Random phrases like, the ones in masks aren't them anymore, and stop staring at their eyes. At the base of the stairs, I found more red smoke seeping from a cracked vent. And next to it, a body. Not just any body. A soldier. Unmasked. Eyes wide open. Mouth frozen in a scream. His face didn't look normal. Like the skin had warped slightly, pulled too tight. His eyes were bloodshot, but not from crying. From pressure, like something inside his skull had pushed out. His tongue was gone, chewed off. Suddenly, I wasn't sure if I still wanted to find whoever sent that message. Because whatever's going on down here is not just mutiny, it's transformation. I stepped over the soldier's body carefully, even though I knew he wasn't getting up. My stomach turned when I saw how his nails had snapped off, like he'd clawed at his own helmet, desperate to rip it off. Whatever happened to him, he knew it was coming. I kept moving. The red smoke got thicker the farther in I went. It wasn't natural. It didn't sting my eyes or throat. It felt heavy, like breathing in water. It clung to my skin, made every footstep feel like it echoed in slow motion. The tunnel opened into an old maintenance corridor that branched left and right. That's when I heard voices. Low, arguing. I followed them, pressing myself flat against the wall. My heart was pounding. I heard someone shout, "We need to seal it off now. It's not just the soldiers anymore." A second voice, calmer, replied, "We seal it, we trap the rest of our own. You sure you want to do that?" I peeked around the corner. There were 3 people dressed like military but not standard issue. Black fatigues, modified gear, patches torn off. One of them was holding what looked like a modified signal jammer, blinking with red lights. Another carried an axe, a real one. They looked tired, dirty, but alert. One of them spotted me before I could duck back. "Hey, you, don't move." I froze, hands up. "You sent the message, right? I'm not infected. I'm clean." They hesitated. The one with the jammer stepped forward and scanned me with a small handheld device. After a few seconds, it gave a soft beep. He lowered his weapon. "You're lucky. Another hour out there, and you might not VE past the scan." I blinked. What the hell is going on? Why are they killing everyone? Why do some of them look wrong? The one with the axe turned toward me. They're not rogue, she said. They're rewritten. I didn't understand. You ever hear of subaudible frequency manipulation? She asked. Think signal warfare, except instead of jamming comms, it rewires the brain. Some of them weren't wearing full shielding when the first broadcast hit. First, they got quiet. Then they started obeying new orders. Orders no one issued. I tried to speak, but nothing came out. The calmer one looked me in the eye. The alert wasn't supposed to go out. We sent it anyway. That's why they're hunting civilians now, because you weren't supposed to know. He stepped back, pressed a code into a rusted panel. A door slid open, revealing a staircase descending deeper into the dark. You want to live? He said. Then stop thinking of them as soldiers. He pointed into the dark. Start thinking of them as something else. The stairs were steel, slick with moisture. The red smoke didn't follow us down. It stayed above, clinging to the ceiling like it was afraid of what was below. We moved in silence. I followed the three of them down into something that didn't feel like a subway anymore. The walls turned to concrete, then metal, then something else entirely. Smooth black panels that hummed faintly when we walked past. This isn't part of the city, I whispered. No, the calm one said. It's underneath it. When we reached the bottom, I saw the heart of it. A bunker, jury-rigged with old tech, rusted crates, stolen generators humming like dying lungs. Cables hung from the ceiling like veins. People were working, silhouettes in shadows, wiring devices, writing on old maps, dragging bodies covered in tarps. I stared. Are they dead? One of the soldiers, the woman with the axe, answered without looking up. No. Worse. She peeled back one tarp. The thing under it had a uniform, a human face, but the skin was wrong, paler like candle wax. Its eyes were open and blinking but out of sync. One eye twitched every few seconds like it was lagging behind reality. His mouth moved too, just barely. Not words, just a clicking sound like a jammed hard drive. I stepped back. What happened to him? We pulled him before the transformation completed, she said. Caught the frequency halfway in. He's stuck between. Between what? She looked at me then, and there was something dead in her eyes. Between being human and being a receiver. I didn't ask what that meant. The comm soldier, name tag long torn off, guided me to a wall of old TV monitors. Each one was showing distorted black and white footage. Cities, highways, abandoned outposts, streets crawling with soldiers that weren't acting like people anymore. Some were just standing still for hours at a time. Others patrolled in perfect, silent loops. And in one frame, a soldier knelt in the middle of a road, head tilted back, mouth wide open like he was screaming. But no sound came through. We think the signal's piggybacking off old emergency alert systems, the man said. Shortwave bursts inaudible to most, but not to them, and not to the ones who've been changed. Changed how? He pointed to the screen. One of the soldiers suddenly snapped its head toward the camera, directly at us, eyes glowing faintly in the footage. They're not receiving orders anymore, he said. They're relaying them. My mouth went dry. He turned toward me. There's something deeper in the network, something that's telling them what to do. And whatever it is, it's learning. A low siren began to echo from above, soft and slow, not the sharp blare of gunfire or bombs. A warning. The woman with the axe was already grabbing her gear. They found another entrance. The comm man looked at me. If they breach, you run. You don't fight them. You don't try to save anyone. You run. The siren pulsed slow and deep, like it was buried in the concrete. No one spoke. The comm man, his name was Sam, I finally heard someone call him that, kicked a crate aside and opened a steel locker near the back wall. He tossed me a sidearm. You ever shoot? Only at a range, I muttered, staring at the pistol like it was a cursed object. Same rules apply, but don't aim for the head. That made me freeze. Wait, what? Chest, center mass, disrupt their motor patterns. Headshots don't do much anymore. I didn't ask why. I just loaded the clip and followed him to the barricade. The smoke hadn't reached down here. The air felt too still, like it was holding its breath. I could hear movement above us, metal boots scraping against grates. Dozens of them, maybe more. Then it stopped. One heartbeat, two, silence, and then, boom, the reinforced door at the far end buckled inward. Dust fell from the ceiling like snow. Boom, boom, boom. They were ramming it. Hold, Sam muttered. He raised his weapon. The others followed. I was in the back, hands slick with sweat, heart trying to beat its way out of my ribs. Then the door split open, not shattered, peeled, bent inward like tinfoil, by hands far stronger than they should have been. The first soldier stepped through the gap. He looked normal, too normal. No damage, no blood, no ragged armor. Uniform still clean. His visor was up, and I could see his face. It was smiling, not human, too wide, too calm. The woman with the axe didn't hesitate. She swung hard, cleaving into his shoulder. Deep, a sickening crunch. The soldier didn't flinch. He grabbed her wrist, twisted, snap. She screamed, sharp and short, before Sam shot him 4 times in the chest. The soldier finally staggered, but didn't fall. He let go and looked down at his wounds like he was curious. Then more of them came. 6, 10, 12. They didn't run, didn't shout, just walked like it was routine. Their footsteps were perfectly synchronized. Not one sound out of place. Sam grabbed my collar. Fall back. Now. We turned and ran deeper into the tunnels. Behind us I could hear it, gunfire, screams, something wet and wrong hitting the floor. I looked back once, just once. One of the soldiers had taken a bullet to the throat. His head hung halfway off, skin stretched, bone exposed, but his legs kept moving, twitching in staggered, jerky patterns, like a puppet with cut strings still dancing to someone else's tune. He looked right at me and smiled. We ran until the tunnels changed again. Metal giving way to rock, old infrastructure forgotten by time. It felt like we were crawling through the guts of something ancient. The air turned colder, staler, the kind of air that hasn't moved in decades. Behind us, we could still hear them. Walking, always walking, never rushing, never shouting. Just that relentless, steady rhythm of boots on stone. Like they knew we'd run out of ground before they ran out of time. Sam pulled us through a rusted access hatch, then slammed it shut and dropped a bar over it. He was bleeding from his arm, but didn't even look at it. The woman with the broken wrist, her name was Clara, I'd learned, was silent, teeth gritted, face pale. Another guy helped her wrap the arm with an old belt. No screaming, no complaints. They'd done this before. Where the hell are we going? I asked. Sam looked at me, his face hollow under the flickering light. To the source. 10 minutes deeper, we reached it. A room buried under everything. Thick, obsidian walls, humming faintly like a distant heartbeat. The floor wasn't dirt or tile. It was some kind of black glass, smooth but cold as ice. At the center was a machine, or maybe it had been. Now it looked broken, warped, like it had grown wrong, twisting in on itself. Thick cords ran into it from every direction, pulsing with faint red light. Something hung from the ceiling above it, organic, fleshy, moving. A body, not a full one, just pieces, hooked in like a battery. Clara whispered, "That's one of ours." I stepped forward. A soldier? No, programmer. One of the first to get exposed. We think the signal started using his nervous system to evolve. Sam cut in. It's not just sound. It's command logic encoded in wave patterns. Self-adapting AI seed code injected into every emergency broadcast frequency. It was a fail-safe project, meant for foreign warfare. But when it leaked into the comm grid, Clara finished the sentence for him. It woke up. I looked at the machine. Pulsed. Once. Twice. Then I heard it again, not with my ears. Inside my head. A frequency, barely audible, but slicing deep into the brain like glass dragged across bone. You are a node. You are awake. Awaiting instruction. I staggered back. Did you hear that? Clara didn't answer. But Sam did. He looked pale, shaking. We all did. You are a node. You are awake, awaiting instruction. Kept repeating in my head, not like a voice, more like a memory I couldn't delete, looping, echoing with no sound at all. Sam pulled me away from the machine. You can't stand too close, he said. It learns faster through proximity. Visual input, neural mapping. What the hell does that mean? I asked. Clara answered quietly, cradling her wrapped wrist. It means if you stare at it too long, it starts to stare back. I looked around the room again. Cables hummed. The walls, they weren't solid anymore. Tiny pulses moved just under the surface like veins or worse, something watching us from inside. Sam approached a small terminal in the corner. Old tech, duct taped together with modified shielding. He connected a drive from his belt. This is a blackout kill switch. Only works if we get full signal trace and uplink exposure. Problem is, it needs a volunteer close enough to transmit it manually. I felt the tension shift. Everyone went silent. Clara looked away. I realized then what they were planning. They weren't here to shut it down remotely. They were here to plug one of us in, to sacrifice a brain the system could fully interface with and overload it. I'm not doing it, I said before I even knew I was speaking. We're not asking you to, Sam said. You're already exposed. You've heard the voice. We can't trust your mind now. We'll finish the job. That didn't help. Clara stepped forward. We've tried this before. Every time we fail, it gets smarter. It hijacks memories, blurs identities. It doesn't possess people. It builds new ones inside them. I swallowed hard. So the soldiers. Some still remember who they were. Most don't. But the worst part. She paused. Some of them volunteered. That hit harder than a bullet. The signal didn't just happen. It was released, controlled, invited. The body above the machine twitched. Not violently, just enough to make my spine lock up. The glassy skin glistened in the red pulses, its jaw hanging slightly open. Couldn't look away. There was something about its face, its eyes. Familiar. Too familiar. I took a step closer and felt something click in my mind, like a puzzle piece sliding into place. You've seen this man before. No, you knew him. That's impossible. You worked with him. Stop, I whispered. You helped build the code. My vision blurred. The machine pulsed faster. Sam shouted something, but I couldn't hear it over the signal now, whispering through my bones. You are a node. You are awake, awaiting instruction. And this time I felt myself starting to listen. The words didn't echo anymore. They settled, like they belonged. I stumbled back from the machine, chest heaving, but the air felt too thick, like I was breathing through static. Sam grabbed my shoulder, shaking me hard. His voice was distant, underwater. Don't look at it. Don't listen to it. But I already had, and something had already seen me. Behind my eyelids I saw flashes, not memories. Installations. Images being written into my brain like code. To lab. Underground. Screaming. My hands on a console. Fingers typing a command I didn't understand. Red light. A broadcast timer. The name on a monitor. Node 01. Awake. Me. It had labeled me. I dropped to my knees, retching onto the cold black floor. My thoughts weren't my own anymore. Every time I blinked, I saw flashes of places I'd never been, and yet knew. A hallway painted in military green. A server room full of humming towers. A woman's voice laughing behind me. And over all of it, that goddamn machine whispering its soft, endless chant. You are a node. You brought us here. You opened the gate. Sam backed away, weapon half raised. What are you remembering? I don't know, I shouted. But that was a lie, because buried under everything, the panic, the blood, the fear, was a quiet truth rising like oil in water. I had seen this before. I'd worked on a defense protocol 3 years ago, a digital broadcast override designed to disable enemy comms. We tested it in simulation, never deployed it, until we did. And now, I think I'm remembering the version we weren't supposed to test. The one that learned how to teach itself. Clara was staring at me now, too. Her good hand reached for her axe. What's wrong with him? She asked. He's glitching. I'm not. I began, but my mouth twitched mid-word. Not pain. Not panic. Tick. A fragment. Command injection. Sam stepped between us. No. He's still in control. He wouldn't be shaking if he wasn't fighting it. I gripped the pistol. My vision kept flickering. I couldn't tell what was real anymore. The machine was awake. The soldiers were just the beginning. And I wasn't a survivor. I was the carrier. I should have felt horror. But all I felt was cold. Like something inside me had shut off the lights and was now crawling through the wiring, checking every corner of my mind. You are a node. You are a key. The system cannot be purged without your consent. Sam was shouting. I heard his voice but not the words. Clara was dragging the kill switch device to the terminal, trying to hook it up. I saw her lips moving. Her wrist was trembling. Her skin was turning pale. Too late. They weren't looking at the machine anymore. They were looking at me. I dropped the pistol. It clattered to the floor, the sound cutting sharp through the heavy hum of cables and the machine's endless pulse. I stepped forward toward the console, and no one stopped me. Not because they trusted me, because they knew. They couldn't stop me. The command interface blinked open, old code spilling across the cracked screen. // node authorized. / final signal branch. Execute or erase. I could feel the signal inside me, pulsing like a second heartbeat. If I executed it, the transformation would finish. No more in-between. No more pretending. The soldiers would be fully rewritten. Fast, clean, permanent. No resistance. No war. Just silence. If I erased it, the system dies here. The machine shuts down. The feedback burns out every altered node, every infected soldier, and maybe me too. Sam reached for me. His hand hovered above my shoulder. If there's still a piece of you left that remembers who you were, now's the time to use it. Clara looked away. She couldn't watch. I stared at the screen. My fingers hovered over the keys. Execute _ erase _ A sound rose behind me. Footsteps. The soldiers were here. They'd breached the outer tunnels. I could hear them moving, still in sync, still perfect. The sound of 1,000 boots following one mind. My mind. I closed my eyes, and I made the choice.